Hello everybody, in today's video I count down my top 5 batsmen from Pakistan. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Got to be honest, I was going to do England today. I've kind of done India and Australia already, but due to a couple of people reaching out on social media and a few good friends at work, I'm going to do Pakistan. Okay, so I think what I will say when I just start this one is I don't really script these things, but I do a little bit of research just to, just a bit of fact checking, see if there's anything interesting. And I think it's fair to say that Pakistan cricket is the sort of one nation that's suffered equally so the lows and highs that cricket can offer. It seems like every player has their story. My memories of Pakistan cricket, particularly batting, is obviously them getting over the line in the 1992 World Cup final. I don't quite remember who they beat in that game. I'm sure it'll come back to me at some point. What I also associate with Pakistani cricket is their ability to uncover amazing world-class talent at a very, very young age, probably more so than any other country. I'm also aware of the fierce rivalries that Pakistan have, none more so than with India. But I also remember sort of some quite ferocious matches with England, and I'll touch on a couple of those shortly. So, in at number 5, Yunus Khan. Now, Yunus Khan captained the Pakistan side until 2009, when he resigned due to a player uproar over some approaches that he had within the squad. His methodologies weren't popular at the time, but none can argue with his ability and success as a captain, a good strong win percentage, and the amount of runs that he scored. Now, he's sort of one of many Pakistani batsmen that averaged over 52 in tests. He scored more than 10,000 runs, and in one-day internationals, he averaged a touch over 31. Now, looking for some interesting facts, I have both personal experience and something that I thought was apt to read out. The first one, which I think is a fair shout, and I don't think Yunus Khan is the only player that would do this, but it's certainly the only time I've experienced it. And that back in, I think it was 2007, when Yunus Khan was playing for Yorkshire as the county overseas player. Yorkshire is my county. He took the time to visit one of his countrymen and friends who was playing at a local club level at just a regular league game on a Saturday. He just turned up and sat down and watched his friend play, because I think Yorkshire weren't playing that day. Well, obviously they weren't. Now, the second bit is what I was going to sort of give my impressions of Yunus Khan and what I believed the character of the man to be. But when I was doing this research, I thought, well, no, I didn't think. I just read something on ESPN Cricinfo, and what I will do, I will just read that out now. So I'll just look at my notes. So, as a captain, Yunus has enjoyed success in leading Pakistan to the World 2020 title in 2009. Much of his persona evokes the idea of the quintessential Pathan warrior, a committed, inspired, capable, and bearing the burden of conflict with fortitude and praise. Yeah. Number 5, Yunus Khan. Okay, in at number 4, Shahid Afridi. Now, not your traditional batsman, and I think it's fair to say didn't really do much in the test arena. So didn't really look at averages, but one thing when I was looking at Shahid's facts and figures is his strike rate. So in tests, he had a strike rate of 87, with 13.5% of every ball, 13.5% of deliveries faced disappearing to the boundary. In one-day internationals, he had a strike rate of 117, with 16% of balls faced disappearing to the boundary. He featured heavily in T20s, with a strike rate of 150, and 18% of balls faced disappearing to the boundary. In fact, going back to one-day internationals, he, at the age of just 16 years old, he broke the record for fastest one-day international 100. And I believe that was 37 balls. And that stood for a long, long time until about 2014. So with a strike rate like that and a high boundary count and also a nickname of Boom Boom Afridi, number 4, Shahid Afridi. Okay, so the memories of the 1992 World Cup are coming back now, and I do remember that Pakistan beat England. And although the Pakistan team was captained by Imran Khan on that day, or that time should I say, the previous captain, who was still part of the playing team, probably considered one of the greatest, or if not the greatest Pakistani batsman ever, Javed Miandad. Now, Javed Miandad was the face of cricket when I was first learning about Pakistan cricket. He was the captain when I first watched them play. He pioneered the reverse sweep, and like I say, he was part of that World Cup winning team. He picked up the captaincy for the Pakistan team at just 22 years of age and was highlighted as the biggest discovery in Pakistani cricket for decades. Averaging over 52 in tests and over 41 in one-day internationals. No doubt a player I would have loved to have seen much, much more of. Number 3, Javed Miandad. So as a 14-year-old, sat middle of the night, early hours of the morning, sat in my mum and dad's dining room in an armchair, listening to the radio back then. We didn't have Sky. Drifting in and out of consciousness because of the time of day. Yeah, memories of Pakistan, getting up for that, and ultimately, you know, we'll talk about bowlers, Imran Khan in other videos, but ultimately Pakistan got up for that team. When I eventually got to understand what had happened and watch the highlights, you see images of this chap. Number 2, Inzamam ul Haq, commonly known as Inzi, was part of that 1992 winning team. I think he'd got into the team the year before. He got a few runs in that game. I think he got a few runs against New Zealand as well, if memory serves. I think that was in Auckland. And I remember a young Inzi, say young, he's a couple of years older than me, I think, at least. But memories of him actually batting against the pace bowlers with no helmet. In fact, he didn't even wear a cap. You'd never see that this day. And I think back then there was something to do with the, you know, a no ball was just if it was short enough to pass above head height or even shoulder height, it would be called a no ball, even if the batter hit it. But I just remember Inzi getting a few runs, really fresh-faced. Of course, in tests, he had a high score of 329, at an average of almost 50. He captained the side for a number of years and has quite a couple of memorable moments throughout his cricketing history. None more so than when he took the team off against England, I think in 2006. That's when the umpires made some sort of allegation against him to do with ball tampering. Ultimately, that game was abandoned. So that's one thing that sticks in my head. The other thing is, I didn't witness this, but apparently in some sort of celebration match against India back in 1997, somebody who wasn't a fan of Inzi decided to get on the loudspeaker and compare him to a potato, which obviously Inzi didn't. Probably hilarious to some, but certainly not Inzi, who proceeded to hit this fan with his bat on his way out. Yeah. Bodie went on to score a lot of runs, played over 15, 16 years for his country, and did get a triple 100. Not really known for his running between the wickets or one to put in a boundary-saving dive when he had to. Inzi certainly cut a very memorable figure in my mind, and that's why he's number 2 in my sort of favourite 5 Pakistani batsmen. So number 2, Inzamam ul Haq. Okay, so before I tell you who my number 1 is, and I think probably a few of you would have guessed, if it's not Inzi, if it's not Javed Miandad, there's probably only 2 or 3 that you might be thinking of now. But before I do that, just some special mentions. Saeed Anwar, Ramiz Raja, Amir Zahail, plus many more, many more. Not even getting onto the all-rounders at that point. So I could have put a lot of people in this top 5. Like I say, it seems like every Pakistani cricketer has their own story to tell. And maybe in future videos I will tell more of those stories. But yeah, those 3 names that I've just given you, they're kind of the ones that stick around. They're the ones that I tended to see on the scorecards getting runs against England, or whenever they made the news, they were always in the runs. So, number 1, Muhammad Yousuf. So, Muhammad Yousuf, previously known as Yusuf Yohanna, converted publicly to Islam in 2005. In 2006, went on to have to make the most amount of test runs in history in one calendar year. He scored 1,788 runs within the calendar year across 11 test matches with 9 hundreds. Joe Root in 2021 came close but ultimately fell short, and Muhammad Yousuf's record still stands today in 2024. Known for his legendarily high Lara-esque backlift, he seemed to have so much time on the ball, played everything late, perhaps that was because of the backlift, scored a lot of runs, again averaging over 50, also scored a lot of runs at a good average in one-day internationals, when Muhammad Yousuf just seemed to be elegant, tranquil, and not the person who you wanted to get a start, because he was hungry. He had a ferocious appetite to just pile the runs on whenever he could, and he's the batter that when I think about who's the most destructive Pakistan batsman, there are dozens and dozens, and that could have gone through, like I said. But Muhammad Yousuf ultimately is, in my mind, to Pakistan cricket as a batter that Lara is to the West Indies and Tendulkar is to India. So my number 1 favourite Pakistan batsman, Muhammad Yousuf. So like I said, Pakistan are producing talented batsmen all the time. And time will only tell if the likes of Babar Azam and his generation will get close to some of the batters that I've just mentioned there. Good luck, lads. I really mean that. So that's another one done. If you liked that, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you like this particular video, then just hit that like button. But more important than anything else, leave me a comment and share this with your friends and family. If anybody else likes cricket, just let them know where we are and ask them to come and join us on the boundary edge. So until next time, I'll see you later.